this tax system, the predatory lending network, out because income inequality has voters angry this election season. What do you think of this, Superman?
Well, I think it's just because, all the candidates are talking about lowering taxes or raising taxes. Some want to just increase the taxes for the top 1%. Some just want to increase taxes altogether. And then you have Bernie Sanders, who wants to go socialist and lower taxes for everybody. And, as someone who I would consider myself, middle lower class, Superman here, because, Fortress of Solitude can't pay for itself. I would say that, we are supposed to be the land of opportunity, and a lot of the idea behind this is if you're a foreigner or if you're rich, you have more opportunity than a native born that doesn't have the same luxuries that you do. I mean, if you're a foreigner and you come here, you get tax-free if you own a business for around 4 years. If you're super rich, starting a $10,000 startup business is next to chump change for you. So when you have a rich person that can start a bunch of little splinter businesses, and then you have a foreigner that can come here with almost no money and get a supplemental loan from the government that they don't have to pay off for like 10 years, it gives everyone else a very hard chance in order to make any money for themselves or do a business or invest in stocks, whatever they want to do. And that definitely needs to change. I mean, I know we're a nation who is born for opportunity, and we need to give equal opportunity to everybody.
Now, since 2009, stocks are up 190%, which is good for the 48% of Americans that own stock, but the rest of them make money. Since 2009, stocks are up 190%, which is good for the 48% of Americans that own stock, but the rest of them make their money on wages. And since 2009, they're only up 15%. What do you think of this?
Well, like I said, I mean, it really has to do with who has the extra money to be able to invest? Who has the ability to invest in securities, do a pension plan? Really only people who are making surplus income, What guy who's working at a McDonald's or what guy who's working at a Hard Rock or working over in the subway station cleaning up after people's puke has the extra couple thousand, couple hundred to be able to invest in anything? They don't. They have to pay bills. They have children to take care of. It's just not a fair opportunity, and of course this needs to change. Really what they should do is they should make financing plans for stocks. Why can't you go to a bank and say, what, I want to invest in my own stocks, I want to be able to make some profit off of this, can I have some money that I can pay back at low interest over a longer duration of time? Banks already make enough money from premiums and for monthly payment charges to have your money in their bank that they used to go lend out to these people. Why can't you get a piece of that cake too?
Okay. Now, one side wants to raise taxes and the other wants to lower taxes. But whoever becomes president, the other side will likely hold Congress, and nothing will get done in government. What do you make of that?
That's always the problem with lobbyism. How do you fix anything with the top 1% when the top 1% controls the majority of the income and the majority of the politicians? I mean, some politicians will go outright and admit it. I mean, when you're trying to make a congressional vote and you have a guy who says, "I'm going to give you a $1 million donation if you vote no," you know what I mean? And it's not technically legal, but there's still a lot of people that do it. And money is a very evil, lucrative thing, and that's why Superman tries to stay away from it. But the only way it can really get changed is if you get the right kind of people who don't care about the money and they care more about the quality of the country. Because the way things are going, our economy is starting to have a drop-off. China is catching up to us. We're starting to fall behind of some of the European countries. I mean, it's a matter of 20 years and America is not going to be the strongest economy anymore. And if we don't get it through our heads that we need to change this kind of stuff, well, good luck living in America then.
Now, middle-class voters are the most angry. Now, what can be done to help them?
Well, they need to have the equal opportunity. Like I said, if you're low income, what happens? You get government programs, you get incentives, you get SSI if you have a disability, low income, you get housing acts, you get FHA, you get all sorts of things that help low income people. Where then they say, oh, I'm getting my government check now, I don't need to work. And then you have the middle class who's working towards that, but doesn't have enough money as the rich people in order to be able to do what the rich people do. So I completely understand why the middle class are so upset, because honestly it is bullshit. They're the most stuck. They make past $50,000-$60,000 a year, they go in a completely different tax bracket that the guy is in $200,000, and the guy with $200,000 doesn't mind giving away $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year in tax because he still has $120,000 annually left over. That guy who's only making $60,000, by the time taxes are done, he's only making $35,000 a year. And that's a very unfair advantage to the middle class. Really, the middle class need to get a tax break, or they need to get more incentives from the government.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
U.S. government, you need to fix yourself or I'll fix it for you, because I fight for truth, justice, and the American way.
And this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network saying, I tax and spend all that money that you give to me, so send me your money! This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, out with the news that income inequality has voters angry this election season. What do you think of this, Wolverine?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, right, we got a lot of inequality going on nowadays, and it's just not cool. It's not a good thing. So I can understand people being pissed off, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, now since 2009, stocks are up 190%, which is good for the 48% of Americans that own stock, but the rest of them make their money off of wages. And since 2009, they're only up 15%. What do you make of this?
Definitely not as good as 190%, huh? Don't really know what to say about that one. Just need to bring some jobs back home, right? More factories here, more people working here. It's got to be better.
One side wants to raise taxes and the other side wants to lower taxes. But whoever becomes president, one side wants to raise taxes and the other wants to lower taxes. But whoever becomes president, the other side will likely hold Congress, and nothing will get done in government. What do you make of that?
Pain in the ass, huh? Trying to make things happen here. One guy's just halting the other guys. It's not cool. Yeah, we need to get on that and make them do their job, huh?
Let's see. Now, middle-class voters are the most angry. Middle-class voters are the most angry. Now, what can be done to help them?
Give them work, I guess. That's what they want. People need jobs. Yeah, so keep people happy.
So in closing, is there any last-minute things you'd like to say?
Much peace and love, bub. Peace and love. Yeah!
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network saying, send me your money because I'll be taxing you. Now, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, out with the news that income inequality has voters angry this election season. What do you make of this?
Well, I think that that with the stocks going up and with and with a lot of the wages going down, or actually coming up but so much, I think that they should do more to help the working man more than they are actually helping their own pockets.
Now, since 2009, stocks were up 190%, which is good for the 48% of Americans that own stock, but the rest of them make their money on wages. And since 2009, they're only up 15%. What do you make of this?
I think that a lot of them are a lot of the people that are getting richer aren't even thinking of the lower class Americans. They're only worried about their own pockets as far as anything. I believe that the dark side actually surrounds the whole, the rich people. They're not thinking much of the lower class, middle class Americans that are trying to work hard to be equal.
Now, one side wants to raise taxes and the other wants to lower taxes. But whoever becomes president, the other side will likely hold Congress, and nothing will get done in government. What do you make of that?
I think that I believe that in the Congress, there's definitely a lot of darkness surrounding that. Nobody really tells the truth. They always tell lies just to basically bring up the people, so that way they'll be voted in. And I think that they should stop lying and start telling more of the truth, and actually live on what they're doing.
Okay. Now, middle-class voters are the most angry about this. What can be done to help them?
By raising up the funds as far as the minimum wage, the wages, so that way they could be able to support their families, and lower the wages of how much it costs to buy a house. I mean, it's ridiculous out here these days. In the cities, it's getting too congested with a lot of people that want to move into the city because it's beautiful. When they find out it costs too much to live in the cities, they either move back to the country, or they probably try to move to another country. I think they should do something about the wage, the minimum wage, and the cost of living. It has to equal out.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
All of you that are trying to join the new order, come to the light side. No more Sith. We need Jedi. May the Force be with you.
So this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network saying, I'll be taxing you. This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network out that income inequality has voters quite angry this election season. What do you make of this, Bumblebee?
Wages are actually really ridiculous. They want to raise the wages up to $15 an hour. I think it's really too much.
Now, since 2009, stocks were up 190%, which is good for 48% of Americans which own stocks, but the rest of them make their money on wages. And since 2009, they're only up 15%. What do you make of that?
Well, I think they do need to, bring wages down. I know they're supposed to be trying to bring them up, but I think they need to just bring the wages up to accordingly for the cost of living.
Now, one side wants to raise taxes and the other wants to lower taxes, but whoever becomes president, the other side will likely hold Congress, and then nothing will get done in government. What do you make of that?
Well, they bicker in the Congress, and eventually, when they get in the White House, they always raise taxes at the beginning of the year.
Now, middle-class voters are the most angry about this. What can be done to help them?
Well, they got to help the middle tax bracket and at least kind of be fair. It's not fair that the middle income tax bracket shares the majority of the, blunt of taxes compared to the wealthy.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Welcome to Hollywood. This is Cybertron closing out from Hollywood. Thank you.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network saying, I'll be raising your taxes this election season, so vote for me.